Hey guys, I'm back, and today I wanted to speak with you guys about the blessings that you're asking for. I want to make sure that I share with you guys that when we're asking for blessings, that we've done our research on what it is that we're asking for. We know that what we're asking for is going to benefit us in some form or fashion. We're not asking for things because, our neighbors have it, or, that's what everybody said that we should have or we should want. So I know I said to you guys before, some of us said we need a brand new car. Well, you may want a brand new car, but what type of brand new car you want? Don't just choose the Jag because you see that that's what's trending and what everybody's driving. Make sure that you're choosing a vehicle that's going to be right for you, that's going to be right for your family, that's going to be right for you, economically, and, it's going to be comfortable. Something that, you can really enjoy. I've heard some people say, I wanted this particular car. I got to the dealership and I told the salesman I ain't even want to test drive it. I just told him I knew I wanted that car. And then they get that car, and then, of course, after the initial jitters go away, having that new car, you start realizing that I don't like how the way the seats is, or how the way the seat adjusts, or I don't like that every time I turn around, I got to be refilling this thing up, or I don't like the maintenance bill that comes with this car. But if that individual did their research on that vehicle, they would have realized that that particular vehicle only get X amount of miles per city or on the highway. That vehicle requires this amount of maintenance, and the amount of maintenance that it requires is going to cost this amount. So make sure you are doing your research on what it is that you're asking for. Or maybe you're asking for to get a new job, and you want that new job to be at a certain company, and the only reason you asking for a job at that company is because they pay well. But do they treat their employees well? What is the culture over there? What are some of the values they have over there? So you get over there, you get that job, and then you making all this money, but now you ain't happy because of the people you have to work with, or because the company that you're working for, they pay you good, but they don't care about you. If you get sick today or tomorrow, they're going to fire you and keep it going. So instead of asking God for just a good paying job, make sure you do a little more research on what type of good paying job. You want a job that's going to fit with you, a job that you're going to be happy to go to every day, not a job you're going to be complaining about every day. Are you afraid to get sick because you're afraid you're going to get fired? Granted, the money is good, but the money is good only when you're good for them. Try to find a job that whether you're good or bad, they're going to be there for you. Or let's say, you're praying for that husband or that wife. And, we all know, everybody tells you, you need to get a man. He light skinned, he got to be tall, he got to have good hair, can't have no kids, got to make 6 feet, all of these things. And then you end up dating a person like that and you realize, oh my goodness, I don't like anything about him. Everything it is that I thought that I want, I don't want. And the reason why you find yourself in that situation because you ain't did no research. So I want to say to you guys that even though it looks good, even though it sounds good, doesn't mean that it's for you. Doesn't mean that's something that you need to be asking for. Everything that we're asking for, do your research on why it is that thing or that situation will be good for you. Until you did your research, don't go asking him for nothing. Don't go asking him for that a particular type of car and you ain't did your research, you ain't test drove it, you ain't seen how it's going to fit in your life. Don't go asking for a job you ain't did no research on to see, hey, granted, I know that I'm a good employee, but are they going to be a good employer? Don't go asking for that husband or that wife with certain, that needs to have certain characteristic traits. And you ain't did your research on those characteristic traits and seeing how it is that will benefit, how that will fit with you in your life. So remember, pray, set those goals. Ask. But while you praying and asking and setting those goals, make sure you praying and asking for things that you've done your research on. Okay? Make sure you've done your research. Because I don't want you to go out there and you be, oh, you know, because he'll answer some things that we ask hard enough. He will answer. Sometimes just to show you that you didn't need that. But I don't want you to waste time on something like that. And the only thing you had to do is stop for a second and research. I'm going to tell you something. I have been, when I first started in business, before I even saw my first client, I had written down on a piece of paper what would be my ideal client. And let me tell you something. I end up getting that ideal client. And that ideal client ended up being the worst client ever. That ideal client almost made me decide to shut my business down and become an employee again. Because, believe me, they was ideal on paper, but not ideal in reality. I could never satisfy them. They never could respect the boundaries that I had set forth. They always needed me all the time. Never wanted to listen to anything that is that I said. I was a subject matter expert when they signed on the dotted line, but after that, for some odd reason, I became not the smart one anymore. And everything they did was right. And then I had to say, you know what? Had to go back to them. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for believing in me. But I don't think this relationship is no longer healthy for you or me. And I need to step out. And I would assist you guys in finding someone else that provides the same services that I provide, so you can be able to go to somewhere else. So what I learned from that situation is that, granted, there's a lot of money there. Granted, they're ideal people. Granted, they look so good. But I hadn't did research on who would fit well with me. Who would fit well with the values that I had set at my company. Who would I work well with? Who would my employees work well with?
After 29 miles
so then I had to go back to the drawing board to make sure that I didn't make that same mistake again and say, you know what? Quit looking for the client that everybody wants and look for the client that you want and need, and that wants and needs you. So don't get wrapped up in the glitz and the glamour. Don't get wrapped up in what, the person on the left or the right of you are doing. Don't get wrapped up on the husband that somebody else has, or the car that somebody else has, or the job that somebody has. Get wrapped up and focus on yourself. Get wrapped up to do the research and finding out what you need, what you deserve, what you would like. Okay. Guys, I'm done. I hope everybody has had a great day. And I pray that everybody have a great rest of their Thursday evening. Until next time, guys.